Yo.
No, you have to wait.
Yo, he's dialed. He's actually dialed. Okay, we're hitting legs. Oh, what the hell? I need to tighten this. We're hitting legs today. We're doing kind of a deload day, kind of, sort of, not really, but we're just not going to be doing a whole lot because he has to hurry and get home for a dentist appointment because he's a dumbass. Look at him. Wait, let me fix the camera real quick. Okay, we're going to go inside and hit legs, probably like a hamstring and glute focused leg day. Yeah. We're starting with hamstring curls per usual. I like to do these because they help me warm up my knees. I'll go from here to some mobility work. Sometimes I'll do my mobility work before this, but for me it really doesn't make a huge difference. After this, I think we'll probably do some form of like a, probably like a straight leg deadlift or maybe a glute focused RDL, something like that. He said, hell no. We'll see. Hudson's a dumbass, look at him. Since Hudson's in a bit of a rush, I didn't get to do the usual pregame ritual, which is taking a massive dump. So there is a high possibility I shit myself. I'm gonna go into first working set here, and then probably just record this one. I might also record Hudson, and then give some cues as well as he's going. Hamstrings are usually my strongest movement for legs, and so we're gonna do the full stack here. See if I can get around 6 to 8 reps.
Bro, I'm moving.
All right. The angles aren't exactly perfect for me right now. I'd like to have the seat a little further back, but I don't feel like moving around between each time me and Hudson go, so that was okay. Got basically 6 reps there, helped myself a little bit, but I'm not upset with that. Some of the main cues is I like to lean over whenever I perform the movement, especially if I can't get it clicked all the way down as far as I'd like for it to, just because I always preach doing a full range of motion, and that helps me feel like I'm doing that. Whenever I'm lean back, I know I see a lot of lifters lean back. It's also just more comfortable for me, and I feel like I'm a little bit more strong and stable whenever I perform it that way. I know it's different for everybody, but for myself, that's how I perform it. Not much else to really talk about here. Just trying to find a machine that's stable. When you're trying to target your hamstrings, by far the best movement you can do is a seated hamstring curl. So from here, we're gonna go to some form of RDL. Okay, so we literally only have like 30 minutes left before we have to leave. So we're gonna try to do some of these. These are glute focused RDLs. I went over these a little bit in my last video. I'll record my top set. We're gonna warm up here for a second. I'll probably go to 6 plates or so, see how that feels, and then I'll give you some of my cues after that. And then we're probably gonna superset adductors with probably calves, maybe something else. We might try to throw in some hip thrusts as well if we have time, but it just all depends. Gonna be a super short workout, and I'm usually against supersets, but if we have to do it, then we will. Okay, so this is my first working set here. Some of the cues, well, not one of the cues, one of the tips, for sure you want to use straps here. I talked about this my last leg day, the last time I did this movement. Whenever you're doing anything that requires your grip strength, you hear a lot of guys say like, well, I want to work on my grip strength, I want to be able to be strong in my forearms, but you should be training your forearms directly. Yeah, you'll get stronger if you are training with your grip and you're not using straps, but then you'll be weaker in your legs, because as you're progressing, your forearms should always be weaker than your legs. So whenever you're doing a movement like this, you're always going to give out in your forearms before you reach a proper amount of stimulus and hypertrophy in your legs. So I always recommend using straps whenever you're doing a movement that is going to be heavy. Whenever you're doing back, basically anything that involves your forearms, unless you're trying to target them directly, you should always use straps. This might be pretty heavy. I haven't went this heavy in a minute. I think last leg day I went up to 5. I might put on my belt here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put on my belt as well. Even though my back feels really good, usually my lower back bothers me a little bit here, but I think my form has been progressively getting better as well. Some of the main focuses whenever doing this is it's a glute focused RDL, it's not a straight leg. So yeah, hamstrings are involved, like our upper hamstrings, but for me the main focus is my lower glute. So whenever I'm doing the movement, I'm leaning over myself, so I'm coming down. I'm keeping the bar's pathway straight, so I'm not pulling the bar back to where it's going up like this or where I'm going over it too much. I'm trying to keep the bar straight up and down throughout the entire movement. And whenever I'm going down, I'm pushing my ass back a little bit and keeping that tension more so on my glutes than my hamstrings. I also try to keep my chin down because it's better for your lumbar and it's better posture and you're supposed to be stronger and more stable. But I've been doing it for so long with my head up that I am just very used to it now, and I feel really stable when I perform it that way. And sometimes whenever I actually do put my chin down, it sometimes bothers my neck more, which is a little bit contradictory to what should happen. So I'm trying to get better at practicing keeping my chin down, but whenever I go relatively heavy like this, like in my warm-up sets, I always have my chin down just trying to practice. But when I go heavy, sometimes if I try to keep it down, I strain myself a little bit. So if you're starting, for sure, try to keep your chin down and start that habit now. But since I'm as far as long as I am, I have built the habit of keeping my head up, and it's what feels good to me. I think that covers the majority. I'm gonna do this working set, and I think I'm only gonna record this one. I might record Hudson as well, but we'll see. Still have to kind of hurry. We are in a rush. It's honestly a little bit too light. I think I'll go heavier than the next set, just because to get to true failure there, I think I would do 5 to 6 more reps, and that's just a lot higher rep range than I'd like to do. But that was still definitely not easy. That felt pretty good. My form felt pretty decent. Didn't feel it in my back very much, and I felt it a lot in my glutes. Although where you feel it doesn't entirely matter. This is kind of what I preach is it doesn't matter where you feel it when you're trying to promote stimulus, but it does matter if you're feeling pain. So if you feel pain somewhere, that's when it's something you want to avoid. But if you're trying to target a muscle, you want to focus on the leverages and the muscle mechanics more so than actually feel it in the muscle that you're trying to target. Okay, I'm done. So one more tidbit I want to give here. I'm not going to record another set, but you don't want to do this going into it thinking that you're not going to feel it in your back at all. And if you do feel it in your back, that automatically means you should stop because it's pain. It might also be, when you're doing this movement, your erectors are going to take a heavy load, which is these muscles like the little Christmas tree on your back. Those muscles are going to be used a lot, and that's why I don't really target my erectors in any other way besides doing some sort of variation that's a row pattern, or not row, a deadlift pattern or something similar to this to target my erectors, because they obviously get a shit ton of stimulus from bracing myself here, and they get a little bit of flexion as well. Your back is supposed to naturally bend. If you are thinking you have to keep a perfectly straight back throughout the movement, a lot of people focusing on keeping their back perfectly straight is sometimes what leads to them having back issues because they're putting so much focus on their back. Your back is gonna have a little bit of a natural bend, and you're going to feel it in your erectors a decent amount, especially as the weight progresses. So as long as you're not feeling pain, then it could be just growth from you using your erectors as much as you normally wouldn't. A rush here and do a superset. He's starting on calves, and then I'm gonna go do forearms as well. Just like I was talking about a second ago, I like to target my forearms directly whenever I'm training them, and I usually do that on my leg day. We'll try to get as much in today as we can. Hudson, I don't know why I just said that. We're gonna try to also implement adductors as well if we can find the time to do that, because I think it's super important. But somebody just hopped on it. I would rather do that and leave out calves if I had the choice, but we'll do what we can do. Okay, I think I'm in frame here, but I'm not sure. This is the last working set for me for forearms. My main cues here is I have it locked in the same thing, same kind of thought process as a JM press. I have my elbows with like a pull through my torso to where they're locked in here. I'm here and I'm leaning back at the concentric portion, so when I'm coming down, I'm leaning back to have all the tension here, and then I'm leaning forward as I go into the eccentric. And I think you're able to do that because whenever you brace yourself for a small muscle group, as you get stronger, I should be able to brace myself with 130 pounds relatively easily. And I treat that the same as any compound lift when it goes to trying to get 6 to 8. So if I do end up doing another set, which I don't think I will, I'll probably go a little bit heavier. Well, I kind of even, oh, there I am. I'm gonna take the camera now and video one set of calves and then explain kind of the cues there. Who the fuck did guy? Who did guy? Gonna video one set here. I have 2 more working sets. I'm gonna explain some of the cues and what I'm trying to hit and focus on and why I perform this calf raise in particular. I'll go ahead and go straight into it. Usually I like to rest, but we actually need to head out of here in like literally 2 minutes. So we're not gonna get to hit adductors as well, but I'll talk about that in a second. So I like this movement because I feel very stable and there's no pressure on your lumbar. So whenever you do other standing calf raises, there's pressure on your back. Here there's not any. As well, whenever you're doing a straight leg calf raise, your entire calf's being used along with your gastratus, which sometimes isn't being, or not sometimes, it isn't being used whenever you're doing a seated calf raise. So that's why I like to use this one. Okay, let me lock it. This is still kind of too light, I think. So I'm gonna add a little bit more weight. I'm at a 45. I like this machine also because you can go really heavy in a way that a lot of other calf machines don't allow you to, because you can add plates to the side. I already have 2 plates on. Now it's the 3rd along with the full stack. I'm gonna take a second to gather myself and I'll do another set here. There was something else I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, so this is one of the only few muscle groups that I don't try to exactly focus on hitting 6 to 8 reps. I still try to focus on doing something relative to that, but it's not as important for me due to the fact that I do have some Achilles tendon pain that I deal with every now and then. So there's no reason for me to push it there more than I need to. I think that I'm still getting basically the same amount of stimulus, or I'm getting enough stimulus to still see growth and get in a good amount of hypertrophy when getting over that 6 to 8 rep range. I know you're good, man. I'm gonna do one more of forearms. Yeah, and we can dip after that.
I honestly could do like 15 reps. Am I doing around?
Yeah, you probably have your butt pushed either too forward or too far back to where the leverages are too easy.
Should I keep it on like?
But I also added more weight.
Like the right before my butt?
I keep it like as much on my tailbone as I can.
Okay.
But wherever it feels, you're always trying to make each exercise the hardest it can be whenever you're trying to do hypertrophy. Smooth. Yeah, I know it hurts your feet. Smooth, but stable. Okay, I'm gonna do probably 1 to 2 more sets there, and then I've got 1 more working set for forearms. I was gonna do an in on that last one, but I think we have enough time for me to do 1 more real quick. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video there. I think I'm gonna do a little outro when I walk out, but in case I don't, I appreciate you guys watching and have a blessed one.